Alright, so I haven't made a video in like a long time. My bad, y'all. Been busy and stuff, been also kind of burned out. The one thing I like to talk about today is WWE and their current stars and how they don't build them up that well. I'm going to try and do this video in one take as well, so bear with me here. Let's get it started. Alright, so addressing the screenshot, shout out Violence, that's my homie right there. So Triple H and Undertaker pretty much said that the only way to improve when it comes to your stars that are like under 30, the ones that are like somewhere between 25 to 30. The thing is, I'm pretty sure a good amount of you know that wrestlers have house shows, right? So they can practice, they can wrestle each other, gain chemistry and things like that. But like recently, Triple H got rid of those house shows because, a good amount of wrestlers were getting injured. It was kind of taxing on a lot of them. And I do understand why they kind of got rid of house shows, honestly. I do wish they brought them back, though, because house shows are really important for the reasons I stated before. And without having house shows, your stars aren't going to improve, right? Because wrestlers need to, wrestle each other on house shows, gain chemistry with each other. Then the final product's what we get on TV to see, how good the match quality is going to be in ring, how much psychology is presented inside the ring, and, things like that. And specifically talking about the main roster here, because, I want to specify it's the main roster I'm talking about, not NXT, because, that's a whole different ball game. Now, with all I've said so far, I feel like a lot of stars usually just get kept backstage, like your Ludwig Kaisers, who should be wrestling weekly, getting promo time and things like that. You got New Catch Republic with Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, who are a very good tag team, by the way. They should be wrestling weekly as well. You also got Carmelo Hayes, Stephanie Vaquer as well. You got just a lot of stars that, you can try and mix up with other talent, create new rivalries and things like that, have them wrestle weekly, kind of create different matchups and things like that to keep things fresh. And then not just giving them match time, giving them promo time as well. Because, you want to see how well they can create stories with other wrestlers that they're going against and, creating rivalries, things that are long lasting, I mean, that's just me trying to generalize, an issue with a lot of stars not wrestling weekly as well. And I think that has to definitely do with Triple H and how he books champions and also how he just books talent in general. They just don't wrestle weekly, man. Especially if you're a champion, man. Look at Io. She's arguably the best wrestler in WWE right now, point blank, period. And, the last time she's wrestled is, what? Stephanie Vaquer? The match was great, by the way, but that's, the last time she's wrestled, and that was, maybe, a month and a half ago? Io's been champion for, 4 months now. And literally, the Stephanie match was non-title. The last time Io defended her title was at Mania 41 against Rhea and Bianca. Seriously, man, the booking's just crazy. Seriously, someone like Io should be getting, matches every single week, wrestling people like Stephanie. Don't forget about Ivy. Don't forget about Asuka as well. I was going to say Becky, Lyra, and Bayley, but those three are in a rivalry right now, so I guess we can count them once the rivalry's over, but not currently. There's still Ivy, though. Ivy versus Io could be a nice little, non-title match or something. Just give Io something to do, she's a world champion, man. Seriously, Triple H, book her better, please. Io's been backstage doing these segments for, weeks now, when she should be wrestling literally every single week, or at least almost every single week. Once every 2 weeks at least, And going off of Io, because Io's somebody that you definitely want to try and build a company around when people your Romans. He doesn't really show up to work anyway, huh? Your Codys, your John Cena's, your Randy Orton's, your CM Punk's, your LA Knights, your Damian Priests, your Drew McIntyres, all those people that are in their 40s or they're getting there, who are going to be out the window within the next 3 to 5 years. You got to just start building newer stars to kind of make up for all the ones who are going to be out the window soon, Now, also going off of this, shout out to Coco, by the way. It was funny that he said, the older stars refuse to retire because, it's not like they're going to retire if they're 40 because they still have something left in the tank, But I get what Coco means because whether it be Raw or SmackDown, the men's main event scene always has, men in their 40s who are, going against each other, and they never mix it up usually with like the younger talent for the most part. Because like, remember when Carmelo Hayes was, fighting Cody in like those non-title matches? That was something new. That was something fresh. That was something unique because Melo was like, I think like the first draft pick overall for SmackDown. And then that was kind of a reason why he wanted to go against Cody, who was WWE champion at the time, to kind of like prove like, oh, I'm the new guy in town. I want to test my limits with the WWE champion to prove, I can go against him and things like that. And I thought that was great because Carmelo Hayes is like in his early 30s. So it's great that he's chopping it up with someone like Cody, who's pretty much an established star at this point. So yeah, really like that. And I kind of wish that Triple H kept something like that going with like a lot of the younger stars, mixing it up with the older talent instead of just the talents who are like in their late 30s, early 40s that are like almost out of the window, essentially, kind of mix it up with each other for the most part. Like, get some younger stars in there and, make something of it, Triple H. Like, you're the booker. You can definitely do better than this, but I don't know why, but you don't choose to. I don't get it. Like, let's take a look at someone like Carmelo Hayes really quick, right? Former NXT champion, former North American champion. Really good on the mic, really good in the ring, And then you kind of look at the people he came up with from NXT. Braun Breaker, 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Lyra, one-time IC Champion, one-time Tag Team Champion. Tiffany, one-time WWE Champion. Hell, even Roxanne recently, one-time Tag Team Champion. So I'm kind of just wondering, when's Carmelo Hayes going to get his moment, Like, I know that you got to be patient and all that stuff, but I feel like we've been patient long enough, Like, Carmelo Hayes has been on the main roster as long as someone like Braun Breaker or even Lyra. But, like, he's gotten nothing, And it kind of just hurts because Carmelo Hayes is somebody you're supposed to build a company around and somebody who's in his early 30s, a young star who's supposed to help lead the company into, like, a new era of stars that, are built up well, can create feuds that are really long-lasting and good, create good stories, have great matches, things like that. And, like, going back to my older points before, you look at somebody like Rhea, right? Her past 2 title reigns, she barely got to defend it against anyone at all. Like, Rhea would barely get any title defenses, and, it was just pretty similar to Io's reign right now. Like, somebody holds a title for a really long amount of time, but they barely have any defenses. Like, it's just so annoying, man. And then shout out to Liv for this screenshot. The thing about stars who do get injured, it does lead to them wrestling less, of course. And then those injuries just cause a cycle of more people not wrestling that much. And then more people get injured and it's a bad cycle. So I think the thing is that Triple H just needs to prioritize having a balance of his stars wrestling on house shows, bringing those back for sure. Having enough time to say what they need to on the mic and develop long-lasting stories that are pretty meaningful in the long scheme of things. So to kind of just wrap up everything I've said in this video, you really want to just develop your young stars right now because the people like John Cena, Randy Orton, etc., who are in their like 40s and stuff like that, they're going to be out of the company soon. And you need stars to fill those spaces in once those people are gone, your older stars. I mean, you got people like Roxanne. She's in the Judgment Day, which, is good for her because she's getting TV time. But I wish she'd get some significant wins as well. Hopefully she does as a tag team champion, but I guess time will tell. Braun Breaker's in Seth's faction. He's been kind of just fodder, running away from getting attacked by someone like maybe Jay with a steel chair. I don't know. I just feel like Braun could be better booked than what he's doing right now. It just feels like he's security for Seth Rollins. And, Braun Breaker and Roxanne are like people you want to build the future around. So it kind of just irks me a little bit seeing how they're booked, knowing they could be booked a bit better. So hopefully things change with how Triple H develops his young stars for the future moving forward. But with that being said, though, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully I'll be able to bring out another one soon because, well, I'm not consistent with the YouTube videos, but I'll try to be, man. Thanks for watching, y'all, and yeah, hope y'all have a good day.